Alright lads and ladies, we've got a bit of a different video today. These are some lessons that I took away from the Sell More Online Q2 Mastermind that we went to in Miami. There were speakers like Haynes, Fazio, Cale, Owen, Evan Siege, a couple more people. So basically me and my business partner Marcus, if you don't know Marcus, travelled across the Atlantic Ocean to go to our Mastermind in America last week. Like I said, here were some of the speakers. And in this video, I basically just want to walk you through some of the lessons that we got from being there. We actually had like a mini vlog-ish prepared, right? But we just realized you don't give a shit what we were doing. You don't care if we were going to some nice restaurant or whatever. You want to know what people are doing to make money right now. So this is what we're going to tell you. If you don't know who I am, my name's Charlie McCormack. What do we do? We do done for you webinar campaigns, one-to-many campaigns, advisory campaigns for business owners and operators, where we're either doing it done for you for coaches, consultants, info product creators, or we're helping operators through our advisory practice do it for their clients. We've been running this agency for like 18 months now. We've done over £4 million for our done for you clients alone. I don't even know how many million we've done for our consulting clients or how much they've gone on to make from webinars. Here's some quick proof. You can screenshot if you want to have a proper look at this. And we also run webinars ourselves, and we spend our own money on this to scale our agency and our advisory practice. So we're good at it and it works. There's some links below that you can sign up to below. You can take a look at what we do done for you, advisory, and you can join our next webinar. Okay, so table of context. Number one, I'm going to talk to you about what Cale Owen was saying. So he's Gym Launch CEO. I'm going to talk to you about Dakota Hermes. He's spending millions a month in paid ads across Meta and Google. I'm going to share what he's up to. Fazio, going to talk about what Fazio is doing with challenges and some insights that he actually gave on selling one-to-many at different price points, which I hadn't considered, which I thought was pretty cool. Evan on his offer playbook and how to frame offers and why organic success with offers doesn't equal paid success. Jeremy, how to become the best. And then last but not least, I'm going to tell you how to work with me and my team to run webinars for yourself if you're interested. So we'll start with Cale, right? So this is Cale. For some reason, this guy is the Gym Launch CEO. For love nor money, I couldn't find a photo with him and Alex and Layla, right? But you can see here, this is off his LinkedIn, Gym Launch CEO from when Hormozian was there. So this is the geezer who Alex and Layla are putting in there. And his talk was mainly about how to decide what you want to do next in your business. So it was like decision-making frameworks. And the reason I'm putting this in there and not some of like the tactical stuff that we learned at the event is because I found this stuff insanely useful. And I think in terms from a value perspective, what you might actually get out of this video, I feel like in this space, everybody, I mean, you probably clicked on this video yourself looking for some hack that we're going to give you from the event, right? There's a few interesting things to do with offers and whatnot. But everyone wants the next content strategy, the next ad strategy, the next follow-up thing that they can do to increase their follow-up rate. They want the next thing to bolt onto their webinar. They want a diamond in the dirt, right? And obviously, those things matter. I'm not saying that strategy doesn't matter because it clearly does. But at some point, it's like, do you know what your team did today? Like, how are you actually running your company? What are your company fundamentals? Do you have systems built? Do you have structures built? Do you actually know what's happening inside your business? Or are you just constantly looking for the next shiny thing and ignoring a massive truck of diamonds driving right past you? Do you know what I mean by this? Like, people are looking for the next hack, but they just ignore a lot of fundamentals. And Cale's talk was essentially on the fact that nobody actually really knows what they're doing, but they definitely don't know what the next best move is inside their business. Next up was Dakota Hermes, who runs a company called AdClass. So he runs an advertising agency. He's spending millions of dollars a month across Meta, YouTube, and Google. I guess Google and YouTube are kind of the same thing, but you understand the gist, right? And he was talking about, first thing, different funnels that he's seeing work very well right now. He's primarily working with info inside the agency. I think he has like a few home service clients in another business, but he reassured us, he said webinars are working well across his clients at big spend, like 300K, 400K a month, which is always nice to hear because we're in the webinar business. So when someone's spending that much money and saying webinars are still working, we're like, yeah, that's sweet for us. But one of the main things that he was really driving home to us was creative formats, right? Which will probably be something applicable for quite a few of you watching this. So we already know that Andromeda requires so much creative diversity. We've known that for a while. Most people in the ad space have said that by now. So if you haven't heard about Andromeda and the whole like testing thing, you should probably get your fucking shit together. But what was useful is he actually gave a list of creative formats, which we'll zoom in on here, that you can like take away here. So obviously we've got phone camera, pro camera as like the different camera styles. And then we've obviously got classic talking head. We've got UGC, Instagram style, text reel, podcast style, B-roll, loads of cool stuff, right? So you can steal that there. And this guy's spending the fuck ton of money in ads. The main thing that I took away from it though, which is really interesting, like Dakota mentioned this. So you can have like the best ad copy in the world, right? You can have Andromeda proof, creatives, and the script can be really good, so it's not going to bring you weird leads. It can be filmed in different locations. It can like technically on paper tick all the boxes that you need. But if the way the person presents it is off, the delivery is like completely different. Like if I was just reading this, like, I'm actually going to read the next line to you, just like completely different. And if the delivery is completely different, the quality of the ad can tank. That is something I think we need to focus on more with some of our clients. Do you understand how different that is from me saying, and if the delivery is completely different, the quality of the ad is just going to tank? And I think this is something that we need to focus more with some of our clients. Do you see the difference there? So you could get your client to go to a completely different location. You give them a banger script. You could have the best video editor in the world. But if the client doesn't have the energy and doesn't have the tonality for the ad, he was just saying it's like one thing that marketers and advertisers don't really have much control over, but makes like a massive difference when you actually think about it, when it comes down to it. So for us, this might mean getting freelance videographers to go and film with clients. It might mean us going out there to film it properly. It might mean making sure that they're actually just like following an SOP rather than us hoping for the best. And it makes sense as well, because like we put so much emphasis on this when it comes to the actual webinar itself. I know that like firsthand from moderating God knows how many webinars and like funnel hacking loads of webinars right now, how much of a difference it makes when the presenter actually has their tonality and their presenting skills dialed in. Like it's exactly the same on ads, and it should be the same on the VSL. I just don't think we put as much emphasis on it as we should. By the way, I know in this video, this is one of the rare videos where I'm actually not talking about webinars or how to improve the webinars that you're doing at the moment. But if you want to work with me and my team on webinar campaigns in a done for you or an advisory basis, you want to know how we'd run the webinar for you, what improvements we'd make if you're currently running them, how we'd structure your offer, how we'd run your ads, how we get people there, how often we run it as well, the cadence of it, and what we think you should do, for your business in your specific situation, you can book a call. Right, back to the video. Fazio, right? Mr. Daniel Fazio, Big G. So one of the biggest things I took away from Fazio, which was something that is kind of in our realm of expertise, but he was like really driving home the point about how powerful and insane challenge funnels are. So if you don't know Fazio, he sells an offer called AI Assisted Agency. And from what he said, he did like 1.4 mil a month last month, split between list kit and client ascension. And what was interesting was he was breaking down like his funnel charts. And for both companies, in some capacity, for each offer he has, because he has like Olympia, which is like high ticket client ascension, he has client ascension, then he has list kit. For all the offers, he's doing some form of one-to-many. So with list kit, they're running bi-weekly webinars. For client ascension, they're running the like AI business challenge, I believe they call it. And he literally was showing us the fact that they've literally just launched a challenge funnel for Olympia, which is like the higher ticket version of client ascension. And he said that CA did 500K, $500,000 in a week from one of these challenge funnels. But it just shows that one-to-many works at every level. And he was also talking about the fact that here was his criteria for why he does challenges and not like webinars. And he was saying that like mainly for him, it's the offer and the price point. So he acknowledged that like webinars, and this is actually facts to be fair, because most of our clients' offers are pretty much in this range. Webinars like to book a call are great for offers that are like 4K to 6K. Like 5K pounds is usually like, if we have a client and they sell something for 5K pounds, we're like, yeah, sweet. Like we've got nice breathing room. You can get people on 2 pays. Like it's just a really nice price point to take cold traffic to. You have lots of flexibility there. And he also said the audience. So he also said the quality of lead. He doesn't feel like the quality of lead is exactly what he wants when he does a webinar for something that's like $12K, like straight off the bat. And he also said like he personally prefers challenges because it gives him more time. So he said that a webinar doesn't really feel like enough time for him. So this isn't really a case of like challenges being better than webinars or webinars being better than challenges. It's more like it really opened my eyes to the fact that we should probably be diversifying based on the founder's strengths and also price points. Like for Fazio, he said he wants more time. It works well because he has business partners. It fits the way they sell. So a little side note, if you want to be our first ever challenge case study, we've done 4 mil in Webbies, pounds. If you want to run a challenge with us, we'll do it for you for the same price as Webbies, even though there's way more work, just because we want to do it if we think you're offered work for it. So side tangent on that. Then we had Evan. The big dog, the guy who owns Sell More Online. So if you want to go and check them out, we're in their inner circle, which is why we were at the event. But Evan gave us a really good offer checklist on how to optimize offers for cold traffic. And one thing that I think isn't necessarily like a takeaway I took away from it, but it might be something valuable to you watching this, is if you actually run your own coaching business, like you sell your own courses, you work with clients or whatever, you need to understand that there's probably a high likelihood, like we have to explain to so many people who book in meetings with us, is that the offer you're currently selling on organic probably won't work on paid. And that's fine. But what's not okay is that we'll get people like book a call with us and they're like, oh, why can't we just run ads? Like just do more of what we're already doing on organic, but just like add the paid to it. And more often than not, like running ads to the things that are working for you on organically won't probably work on paid. Like sometimes they might, oftentimes they won't. Like you have to be a far more skilled marketer. You need more skilled salespeople as well, which is a big thing as well. Compared to organic, the numbers aren't going to be as sexy as to what you're used to getting on organic. Like for example, when we do an organic webinar, we do like 100k, and it's just like it just happens. The money just appears. Whereas like on cold, it's like, right, well, let's say we're getting like a 3-4x. It's like, right, you're dropping at least 30-40 bags on ads to get that. Do you know what I mean? Compared to just being able to do it on organic. So the skill level is far different. But with paid, it gives us the stability that we can put money in and get money out. At least we know the money that we're putting in, we're able to get out in the end. And obviously with organic, you're still putting something in. You're putting your time in, and you're putting the cost of your editors in, and you're putting the content production time in. It's just a different cost, right? And cold is just a different game. It's like a step up from Championship to Premier League, and I think that's what Evan was really driving home. And then last but not least, we have Jeremy Haynes from Megalodon Marketing. So he actually posted the talk that he gave, as you can see. So this is the photo that I took, and this is the photo, as you can see, there's Mr. Haynes on his YouTube there. But he actually posted this talk on YouTube, so you can go watch it. Nowhere near as impactful as being in the room, in that room. No. You can't watch that video on YouTube and have the same effect that it actually had when you were in the room. So he didn't even really talk tactics. Like the guy has so many videos of like stuff that he's doing in terms of advertising on his channel. He didn't need to. But he was talking more about what it actually takes to get to $1 million a month from a mindset perspective. So one of the big takeaways from that talk was that the quality of the people, just dictates the quality of everything. So the quality of your clients, the quality of your team members, your network, the quality of the culture you're building. And it just made me think a lot about like where we're trying to take Webinar Wizards, because we want to be the top people in the webinar space, not just like now, but in 5-10 years. And I genuinely believe that if we outlast everyone, which we will, I think we will become the best in the webinar space. But the best in the space, especially from like a service-based perspective, the best in any space are literally just the people who work with the biggest and well-known clients and have the best team. And I realized that, especially in like the growth partner space, or like people who start their business, they stay stuck working with mediocre clients because they're just still like in this almost like beginner mindset. Like I see it happen a lot in groups that I used to be in, and they'd attract mediocre talent. They do mediocre work because they've never actually set the intention to attract and work with better people. So they never build any sort of like case study flywheel. They never get the big boy case studies. They never get the A players. They never go out and build a network, build connections, or build relationships with people who are operating at a better level. And if you don't do that, you just stay in the same loop where you have the same clients doing the same numbers. If your clients are doing the same numbers, you're not going to get any bigger clients because they're not going to see the case studies and they're not going to feel like it relates to them. You're not going to be able to bring your team in and attract them to come and work with some of the big names who you're working with, and then you wonder why the business isn't growing. So that was a really big takeaway for me. It's just like setting the intention to actually work with the best, hire the best talent, and work with the best people. Now, I know this video wasn't about webinars, but if you are interested, you're in this kind of sphere and you want to know what a webinar would look like for your business or how you can improve your current webinar, then we can have a conversation, right? So here's how our process works. I'll just walk you through it briefly. If you want to click off this video now, if you want to hear what I've got to say for a moment, then you can book a call with us via one of the links in the description. If you're not sure whether you would want a done for you service or an advisory service, just book through the done for you. If you're an operator, you want to do this for your clients, book for advisory 100% of the time. We have 2 calls, like once you book. So the first call, our aim is to understand as much about your business as possible. So what's your offer? How are you getting traffic? What funnels are you running? What's your company identity? Why do you even want to run webinars in the first place? Then what happens is me and my business partner, Marcus, we go away and we build a one-to-many strategy plan. So we build out the offer checklist, the strategy that we think will suit you best. We build the core theme of the webinar and the kind of big promise. We look at what cadence we think would work for you, what traffic sources we think would work for you, and what format we think would benefit you and your strengths. And then on the second call, we present this plan to you. We align on strategy, and then we show you where we believe that we can add the most value. So whether that be a done-for-you service or an advisory service or a hybrid, and then we either come to a working agreement or we move on. Now, why do we do this? And why am I even telling you about this? Reason number one is that no two businesses are the same, right? There are plenty of people who can tell you that like, oh, we'll build your webinar for you in 7 days, okay? It's like, how good do you think that webinar is going to be, okay? Like, do you think that we're just going to tell you, like, don't you just think they're just going to do the same thing for everybody who comes through and they're just running like a run-of-the-mill agency? Probably, right? And from what we've seen, and we've seen a lot, the quality and success of a campaign largely comes down to the planning done beforehand. So every campaign we do from the start in our sales process, we plan it for you bespokely. Us planning the webinar for you starts our working relationship before it even begins. So you have a full expectation on what we'd actually execute. And number two, it allows us to come to an agreement that's aligned for both parties, right? We only work with a handful of clients on a done-for-you basis. We have no interest in doing consulting work or doing work with people who are unserious, incompetent, or who are just going to be a pain in the ass to work. This call is as much for you to get educated on us as it is for us to familiarize ourselves with what working with yourself might be like. So if you want us to build one of these plans for you, you want to know how we'd run a webinar for your business or improve the one that you're doing at the moment, book in a meeting. As you can see, every claim is backed below. If you enjoy this video, like, subscribe. Love you lots. I'll see you.